All right, and following a crappy day on Pt.1 yesterday, we're still 2-0 with a push in our last three $1.99 daily best plays on that website. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, the link for that bet is in the description section below. We also have over 845 members who are signed up and active on my safe and secure webpage right now. Now, if you end up signing up today for my $1.99 daily best play, you're actually going to get access to that package every single day all the way through the end of March. It actually works out to be just 8 cents a day if you signed up here today. Now, if you're not signed up for that package, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll explain a little bit more about it in just a moment. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on BrockPage.com, and I have packages on that website starting at just $1.99. Now, the purpose of these YouTube videos is to provide you with free informational sports betting content, and it's also designed to generate interest in signing up for a membership on my website. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my webpage. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total, or at least most of the games for that matter. And what I do on my website is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, got ourselves a pretty good slate of conference championship tournament games here. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to go ahead and start in the ACC, and that's going to be Boston College versus Pitt. 2 o'clock Eastern tip-off on Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. Now, Boston College is -2 in the Barclays Center. Total's 129. But despite being favored by a bucket, Boston College lost their last 3 straight. They garnered only 2 wins since January 30th. Now, BC's really struggled away from their home court this year. They went just 2-11 straight up in all of their contests away from home, and they shot just 39% from the field in those outings. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the court, BC allowed their opponents to make over 40% of their three-pointers against them when they travel. They're taking on a Pitt team who covered in 50% of their contests away from home themselves. And they also got the W more recently against the likes of Florida State, NC State, and North Carolina. Now, John Hughley, he's scoring over 14.5 points a game, along with 7 boards and 47% shooting from the field. Meanwhile, Ethiel Horton, he's making nearly 40% of his three-pointers and also averages double-digit points a game. Now, when it comes to head-to-head meetings between these two squads, Pitt got the W in 7 out of their last 10 games against Boston College. And as far as this year's concerned, the Panthers are limiting their opponents to just 68 points a game. And they also rank amongst the top in the ACC in defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, Pitt's gone 67% to the under in their contests away from home this year. They also saw unders more recently against the likes of Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, BC on the other side went 6-3 to the under in their last 9 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Pitt Panthers +2 in the under 129. Next matchup, we're going to stay in the ACC. We're going to stay in the same arena. I'm talking about NC State versus Clemson, 4:30 Eastern tip-off in the Barclays Center. Clemson's -5.5, totals 143. Now, Clemson currently finds themselves on a 4-game winning streak. And they also have a winning record against the point spread in all of their contests away from home this year. The Tigers are also doing a very nice job shooting from three-land this season. Alamir Dawes is draining 40% of his shots from downtown, 11 points a game for the guard. Meanwhile, P.J. Hall, he's scoring over 15 points per contest himself, along with 5 boards and 49% shooting from the field. Of course, PJ's the team's leading points getter. And when it comes to head-to-head meetings between these two programs, the Tigers covered in 7 out of their last 10 meetings with NC State. And speaking of the Wolfpack, they're in the heart of a 4-game skid. And they also got the W just twice since January 12th. Now, when it comes to covering the point spread, NC State's been terrible in that department as well. These guys actually failed to cover in 12 out of their last 14 ball games. Now, the Wolfpack's biggest issue this season has been their defensive play or lack thereof. They're allowing over 78 points a game when they travel. Their opponents are knocking down nearly 48% of their field goals against them in that, they're knocking down nearly 48% of their field goals against them. So, tough times on the defensive end of the court. Now, when it comes to neutral site contests, NC State lost 3 of 4 in that category, and they covered the point spread only once in those neutral site games. When it comes to the total, NC State went 4-0 to the over in their neutral site games this year, 10-4 to the over in all of their games away from home. Meanwhile, Clemson saw overs recently with Wake Forest, Florida State, and Notre Dame. I'm going to lean toward Clemson -5. And the over 143. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for Part 1. It is going to be Rider versus Manhattan, 5 o'clock Eastern start time at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. Riders -1, totals 137.5. Now, Riders had some pretty good success against the Jaspers in recent meetings. Riders won 7 out of their last 10 against Manhattan, and they've limited the Jaspers to just 69 points a game in those outings. Now, as far as this season's concerned, Riders actually played some pretty tough defense. They're allowing only 69 points a game, and they're also limiting their competition to just 41% shooting from the field. And when they send their competition to the foul line, well, their opponents are making only 69% of their free throws against them. Kind of a quirky trend there, but certainly something to think about, especially with a number this short. Now, scoring-wise, the Broncs are led by Dwight Murray Jr., who's scoring nearly 13 points a game, along with 6 boards and 4 assists. And speaking of boards, Riders amongst the better teams in the Metro in offensive rebounding. Now, they're taking on a Manhattan team who lost 3 out of their last 4 ball games. And they averaged only 56 points a game in those defeats. And speaking of offensive woes, the Jaspers have been little threat shooting from long range this season. These guys are making just 30% of their three-pointers for the entire year. Just 30% of their shots from beyond the arc. Now, total-wise, 7 out of Manhattan's last 10 meetings with Rider got over the line. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. And as far as this year's concerned, they also saw 6 out of their last 10 ball games get over the posted total as well. Meanwhile, Rider, on the other side of things, they saw overs recently against the likes of Monmouth, Niagara, and this very Manhattan team. I'm going to lean toward Rider -1 in the over 137.5. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me for Part 1. Be on the lookout for Part 2 in the next couple of hours or so. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you're actually going to get access to that content all the way through the end of March. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. Now, not only do board members get access to the board member tier package pick itself, you're actually going to get access to every single package that I offer on that website all the way through the end of March as well. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.